Stress. As quoted by the US National Library of Medicine, it is a feeling of emotional or physical tension. It occurs if we experience an event or thought that makes us feel frustrated, angry, or nervous. Stress is our body's reaction to a challenge or demand. Depending on the length of stress, it can either be positive or negative towards us. Which age category do you think have the highest percentage of stress? Most of us will assume young adults or adults, but in fact, it is teens. Why is that? 2 words: academic stress.
From the year 2007 and onwards, the American Psychological Association (APA) conducts annual surveys for stress in the American public. And since 2013, teens have reported higher levels of stress than adults. In addition to that, the 2018 APA survey shows that teens reported worse mental health and higher levels of anxieties and depression than all other age groups. But why is that?
Clear and obvious culprit is the virus. It is accepted as a fact that the pandemic has affected us all, especially us students, in more ways than one. As a survey taken by Timely MD states, 88% of American college students agree that campuses are currently facing a mental health crisis, and 70% of the students stated that they are currently anxious regarding the new introduction of new COVID variants. Now, you could say that the students should be getting used to the pandemic, as it has been going on for the past 3 years. But statistics instead shows the contrary. Students are feeling hopeless.
But what are they anxious about? Simple answer is the quality of their education. It goes without saying that COVID-19, the pandemic, has caused a great impact onto our education. Reason being that there just isn't much personal interaction between teachers and students, meaning they find it tougher to absorb and process new information, causing learning loss. Learning loss isn't specific to a particular country or region though. Even mid to high income countries aren't able to escape this, on account of the abrupt transition to virtual learning. This may lead to even higher problems as well, ranging from just bad grades to full-fledged homelessness due to the lack of income from unemployment. But let's take a look back to the past. Before the SARS-CoV-2 virus pandemic, as the affair is hardly new to us. Gen Z, Gen I, digital natives. This generation is born with ever-ready access to the internet and portable digital technology, allowing us to be able to receive almost any information at the tip of our fingers. But why is this relevant? Simply put it, ignorance is bliss. The easy accessibility of the internet allows Gen Zs to be over-informed with various information. This would make them more likely to be confused or even pressured to do something against their beliefs, one of which is to aim for unrealistic goals. Usually, after a nationwide examination, those who excel or do well in the test would post their achievements on social media, which influences other students to set similar goals to those who did thrive. However, students should set their own goals instead of having someone else set it for them, as your own targets would be the most realistic and possible goal. Although teens today are more well informed, they still fear growing up into adults. This is owing to the reason that they are under the impression where should they not ace in school, they would turn into a failure and a disgrace. That's why most students push themselves to excel in a test while neglecting their own mental health. It's a tachyphobia, the fear of failure. Straying away from the topic of technology, let's talk about something more traditional. Someone we have been living with since our birth, our parents. Who doesn't want to see their children succeed? All parents, who care at least, share that one trait, wanting to see their offspring succeed in life.
Hence, most parents will try their best in providing the support their child needs. But that's where the first problem arises from: parents not knowing the correct method to raise their children into someone successful. We have all heard the common Asian parent stereotype: a parent that enforces their kids must earn an A on each and every subject in their test, while punishing them for getting anything lower. Some people might say that it helps the child to strive for perfection in their life, but I beg to differ, as I personally think that the strive for perfection A perfectionist is a horrible trait to have.
As one who has the trait, can't accept any form of failure or imperfection.
And in life, failures happen ever so often, and learning how to accept from failure and most importantly, improving on it will be a valuable skill to have anywhere, be it in our work life, education, sports, or even in video games.
Without a shadow of a doubt, there are more factors to this issue, but due to time constraints, we're gonna move on to the next part. Stress appears to be affecting teens' performance at home as well as school. According to the 2013 APA survey, 14% of teens report receiving lower grades than they are capable of. 19% neglected their responsibilities at home, 21% of which said the same about work or school responsibilities. 26% report snapping at or being rude with classmates or teammates when under stress. Almost 2 out of 10 of all the teens poll report general procrastinations. This is possibly due to us, as humans, having a desire to escape situations that increase our stress levels.
Other than that, social interactions, relationships, and events often occupy much of teens' lives, and 78% of those surveyed report that having good relationships with friends is very or extremely important to them. Despite this, stress caused 17% of teens to cancel social plans with friends or family in the last month.
Academic stress may also be the cause of someone dropping out of school, as those who struggle to cope with it might feel overwhelmed with pressure and anxiety. Often, in certain conditions such as poverty, poor mental health, or lack of support from family and friends, the teens would feel unwilling to continue on with their education. As for example, poverty makes it so that teens will have a harder time juggling responsibilities, such as working to sustain their family while attempting to retain their grades. Despite the impact that stress appears to have on their lives, teens appear to be less aware than adults of the impact that stress can have on their physical and mental health. As stated by the APA, teens are more likely than adults to report that their stress level has a slight or no impact on their physical health or their mental health. Yet, teens report experiencing both emotional and physical symptoms of stress in similar proportions to adults, which includes feeling irritable or angry, nervous or anxious, or tired. This clearly means that Gen Zs are either less educated of the effects of stress or think that this sort of stress is just a part of daily life. So, we know of the reasons and effects of stress. Now what? Nobody wants to be stressed constantly, ergo, we need to manage it before it goes out of hand. This one's for the atachyphobic. Accept failure as a part of life and redefine it. Shift your perspective of failure and see it as a learning process instead. The only way one can avoid failure is by, ironically, embracing it. By doing so, you will be more mentally prepared to face your problems and even come up with a backup plan just in case things go south. Now, onto the more general stuff.
Working out is one of the best ways to relax your body and mind, as it can improve your mood as well as keeping yourself in good shape. It does this as the regular human body responds to physical activity by producing a chemical commonly called the runner's high, or its scientific name, endorphin. These endorphins are one of the body's natural feel-good hormones, alongside serotonin and dopamine. How much exercise should we do? Work up to 2 hours and 30 minutes of moderately intense exercise, like having a brisk walk, or 75 minutes of a more vigorous exercise, like climbing, jogging, or other sports. If you're struggling to start exercising, begin with a few sports you enjoy the most, or just start out slow by completing a few sets of simple workout and gradually increase it over time. To ensure your workout consistency, make a fitness goal that is flexible to your schedule.
Wherever you feel stressed or anxious, just take a few moments to pick yourself up and breathe. Deep breathing increases the supply of oxygen to your brain and stimulates the nervous system, which promotes a state of calmness and in a way help you feel connected to to your body, bringing your awareness away from the worry in your head and quiets your mind. Here's a way to do it. Sit in a comfortable spot, anywhere at all. Then, close your eyes and imagine a place that you feel the calmness. Let's say, a lush green garden. After doing so, perform slow, deep breaths. After 5 to 10 minutes, you will find yourself feeling calm and collected.
Ingesting, consuming, dining. They all mean the same thing, which is, well, eating food. Let's be honest with ourselves, who doesn't like a good meal? It is proven by science that eating releases the happy chemical, dopamine, to encourage survival. So, what better way is there but to eat well? However, a prolonged, unbalanced diet will only serve as a temporary stress reliever since you're only hurting your health in the long run. A balanced diet consisting of all classes of food is able to both relax us and keep us healthy. Most importantly of all, skipping meals is absolutely unacceptable in light of neglecting the basic necessity of human survival. In short, have a balanced meal and don't starve yourself. In today's dog-eat-dog world, we value speed and efficiency over most other things due to the mindset that we shouldn't waste time and that there is always a window of opportunity that we miss once we move slow. But in reality, slowing down ain't so bad. For example, a slow communicator can be a highly effective one, allowing for natural pauses such that the audience follows his or her train of thought. Speed isn't always the answer for everything. Remember that.
Keeping our emotions all bottled up inside of us isn't good for anyone, especially yourself. Who knows that one day when things get overwhelming and experience a full-blown meltdown, which in other words is also an emotional overload. Why should we talk to someone about our problems? To simply put it, we need to know that there are others there for us, that we are not completely alone. That is the purpose of therapists and counselors, for us to talk to someone regarding our issues without any sort of judgment or biasness. If you don't have the time or don't know where to find one, talking to a friend that you trust dearly will also help as well.
Nobody can control everything around them. That's a fact of life. Try all you want, it isn't going to work. But there is nothing wrong with that. Being too hard on oneself may take the form of harsh judgments, overanalyzing our shortcomings, and assuming fault as our own. You may think that self-criticism keeps us sharp, and that's true to a certain extent, but if we keep criticizing each and every one of our mistakes, it'll lead to less motivation, greater procrastination, and worse self-control. Most things are out of our command. The most we can do is just accept it. That way, we will live a much happier and less stressful life.